underneath, and some of those pieces will eventually fall off, those little shells, and then they'll erode into all these little pebbles you've just been walking on. So all those little pebbles are actually pieces of Uluru itself. The cave here, they say this is probably most likely from erosion. Now, geologists believe we lose about a metre of topsoil about every 10,000 years out here due to blow away, wash away or whatever, depending on the environment. Now if you think about 30,000 years ago, the soil level would have been a bit higher and probably would have been almost up the top of that cave. Now at that time you're probably looking at a bit different climate as well. We probably had a bit more rain. Well, they know we had a bit more rain because we had plants that were almost palm trees and all that sort of thing, which existed out here until only about 20,000 years ago. And what may have been is this might have actually been a nice big water hole. As the water has sat in there over time, it slowly eroded away this part of the rock. And then of course when you got closer to about 10,000 years ago, we started to get more into that drier climate which we have now. Not this year though, of course. And as that drier climate comes, there's been less water, so it sort of stopped eroding at about this level here, almost exactly a metre above us. The four figures in the middle, because it's our coast, it is mixed with a lot of different other elements, so there are parts within the rock itself that will be harder than other parts to erode. To the Ananu, these four figures is four men waiting. Now, with the waiting thing, it was a bit of a, what used to happen is when, well, the best way to explain it is when you think of Western society, we have different stages of life. You know, you got infant, then you got child, then you got teenager, young adult, pensioner. Well, sort of close to that anyway. But, and then with each one of those stages of life, they'd have a new initiation. Now with each initiation you'd have new tasks that you'd have to do, or a new initiation you'd have to go through. And then you'd also learn new chukapa stories of the new areas around the rock or further out as well. Now as part of those initiations, in between each stage, you'd have a waiting period, sometimes just before you'd go for the next initiation. Now, at that waiting time, the chief elder or the main elder of the group would tell you to go and wait in a place, and while you're waiting there, you'd be brought food, you'd be brought water and that sort of thing, and basically just had to sit there and wait. If you think of it, it's like a test of patience and maturity. If you're patient and mature enough, you'll sit there and you'll wait. And then when the elder says it's time for you to go to the initiation, then you go to the initiation. Now, how long was spent waiting would depend on the individual and also on the elder and how long they reckoned they needed to wait, or how immature or not quite patient that person might be. Could vary from a couple of days, a couple of weeks, could even be a month. All depended on the person. But they'd wait in a place like this, and as I said, they'd be brought food that whole time. Of course, if they didn't wait there, then of course, well, you know, they'd have to wait a lot longer before they went through the next initiation process. Or they might even be, you know, slightly punished, like a slap around the ankles or something like that. But most of the time it's just if they didn't wait, then they'd just make them wait longer until they did actually stay there and wait. Well guys, let's head on out this way. From the acacias that I was talking about earlier, the dead finish, the mulga, a few other plants, and they'd crush them up in these smoothed areas here using their digging sticks. When they'd crush it up into like a powder. Mix it up with a bit of spit or a bit of water, and then make like a small dough. Now this little dough treat was actually given to the men when they come back from the hunt. Now the reason for this is because when the women are out there collecting the smaller foods, they can sort of go, one for me, one for the group, one for me, one for the group. when the men are out there collecting the big kangaroo, it's not like you can cut a little piece of the kangaroo and go, here's a bit for me, here's a bit for the rest of the group. So when the men had come back from the hunt, they're given this small little doe as a bit of a treat, or, you know, welcome home honey, nice to see you got a kangaroo for us and all that sort of stuff. Above here you can also see some kangaroo footprints marked into the sandstone. This is actually marked in with charcoal, those ones. Most of the rock art's all done with ochre. As those ones we saw back there, where you saw the red, oh, back in the other cave, there's none in this one, so no other ones in this one. Back in the other cave, the red was always ochre and a few other different types of clay sand. You always just put it on with your finger, mix it up with a bit of spit. And the good thing about ochre and even charcoal is it actually soaks into the sandstone over time. And that's why a lot of these rock arts stay so well in caves that are nice and shaded. Now another one of the little fruity treats out here. Hopefully there's still some left on there yet. Oh, got a heap on this one at the moment. These are your little bush plums. There's a nice little plumberry on there. There's, God, she's really starting to fruit, this one actually. There's a heap all over that one at the moment. And that's another one of those things that collect not quite as good as the fig, because the fig has a very small seed in it. So you get more of the fruit and less of the seed, whereas the plums you get a bit more of the seed and less of the fruit. But they are still quite a nice sweet flavour as well. And that's another one of those things that gather around here. With things like the kangaroos, when they're cooking up a kangaroo, what they'd often do is you cut off the tail. Now the tail is the most prized part of a kangaroo. It's the only part of kangaroo that has fat in it. And when you cook it properly, it is the most tender meat of the kangaroo. So it would always go either to the person who caught the kangaroo, or the person who speared it, sorry, or the chief elder of the group. So they'd always get the best bits. And then the rest of it would be divvied out amongst the group. You get the kangaroo, throw it straight on the fire, whole thing, skin and all, cut the guts open, spill the guts onto some leaves that you might lay on the coals, cover that in some more leaves to sort of help it cook. But the rest of the kangaroo would just be singed in the hot coals or in the hot fire. And then you'd sort of cut up the meat off it from there. It wasn't always cooked right through, but kangaroo meat is actually better when it's served medium rare anyway. But some patches, you see some sort of, you know, charcoal here and medium rare there and sort of not so medium rare there. Has anyone tried kangaroo meat yet actually? Yep. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to try tail though, it is the best part of kangaroo. It is beautiful. What they do with it, they put it in the hot coals, skin and all on it, and then just leave it for a while. Once it's cooked, cut a line straight down the skin, peel that back, and then eat it like a corn cob. Beautiful meat, really tender, and tastes totally different to the rest of the meat off the kangaroo. Mainly because of all that fat content. So anyway guys, we're going to head back out to Tick's, got the bus out there waiting for us. Hopefully might have a bit of a free treat for us.
Sandstone, so it sucks in a lot of moisture and slowly releases the teeth. Those are good cracks full of water. The Nagawalta, the ceremonial pole on the end of the rock coming up here, prior to 1985, this was known as the kangaroo tail, or called the elephant's trunk. And if you look up this as we drive past the end here, it's like a big elephant winking at you. Only got one eye open up there. Now, down the side of Uluru, another face will come into view. Got some holes up near the top there. There's also some down near the bottom as well. Said to be footprints from that evil dog where it ran up that face there chasing the marla. Now the big elongated cave on this end in the shade, that's Chukakapi. Chukakapi is the sacred old women's side. Now of course, a lot of old women were sleeping in there when the dog come around the corner. Now Chukakapi had a European name as well prior to 1985. Have a look through the gap in the trees here. Tell me what you reckon they might have called this big cave. Well, nearly right. What about Mick Jagger's lips? Some of those not quite big enough. But it was called Mick Jagger's lips for many years. That's Chukakapi. The old women were in there sleeping. The big dog come around the corner. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Gobbled them up. Then we got the next face of the rock. You've got the footprints of that dog where it ran up the rock there. And up on the left hand top up there near the footprints, there's some oval shaped caves stacked on top of each other. Just to the left of the footprints. They represent some of the bodies of the marla the big dog killed and left lying up there. Can you all see those bodies? Good, good. Straight across from us, up the top of the rock, those oval-shaped caves stacked on a diagonal. They represent the bodies. Directly underneath them, that large eroded area, La Umpa, the kingfisher woman bird. So she's looking back over her shoulder. She's got a head with a duck-type bill and a couple of drips coming out of her gob. The neck into the plump body, tail feathers out the back and what looks like a stiletto. High heel shoe is the foot of the bird. Can you all see her? Great. Eat your apples. I whacked a bit of LSD in them as well, get the imagination going too. Now the wavy lines coming along Uluru from the other end towards us are Cunya's lines. And she was that big Wayma python friendly snake. Knew this was a good place to raise a family. She'd been brought up here herself, but she'd already had her eggs at Attila, or Mount Connor, where we stopped this morning. She heard about the spearing of a nephew, Cooker. And well, she put those eggs in a necklace and put them around her neck, and away she come, all the way here to Uluru. When she arrived here, she was well, she was tired and hungry from coming all that way and carrying those eggs, so she laid them down in a cave called Kunya Puti and went off to search for food. So those wavy lines coming along Uluru are Kunya's lines where she searched for food. The last large eroded area straight across from us, prior to 1985, known as the brain. Looks like a big brain, doesn't it? Good. Have another look at it. That's Marla Naguru, the keeper, the main man of Uluru. Have a look at that brain. There's hair and a hair bun. Come over the front top edge, you have an eyebrow, an eye socket, maybe a couple of lips and a tongue, and a bottom jawbone. Marla Naguru, the keeper, the main man of Uluru. See that one?
Oh yeah.
Good. Small eroded area to the rear of Marla. That was known as a woman's brain.
Somebody's gonna get
Now some say it's more compact, much more full of knowledge, able to multi-skill, multitask, all that sort of stuff. Does that help?
That's a good boy. That's
Good.
a good boy. We like
What about you girls like flowers, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's some beautiful, well there used to be green pussy tails, they look a bit yellow at the moment, these big flowers out here.
Nice.
These fluffy looking things. Might be some up here looking a bit green.
Rabbit tail.
What about food? You like food?
Yeah.
Couldn't you like food? She was off looking for food. And the first thing she come across was a big yabby. And a yabby's like a crayfish, a marron, lobster. A bit like lunch today, but shell around the legs on it still. She found one of these, jump, shell and all. That attracted the attention of a nosy scorpion. He come down off the top of the rock to see what was going on, and she took one look at him and gobbled him straight down as well. Now first off, we're going to see Kunya eating a big yabby. So through the next gap in the trees on the base of the rock is going to be a large eroded area. Not that one, the next one. That one there. You've got the cavernous body to the left, two nippers to the right, and the snake's head coming over the top to gobble it up. See that? Too bloody late. Big tree. After the big tree, there's Kunya on the base of the rock, eating that big yabby. Yum yum. They're delicious. She also had a scorpion. They're even better. Deep fried, dipped in chocolate. Yummy. Well, Kunya was eating one of these as well. So we're going to see a scorpion coming down off the rock head first. So the big round cave on the base of the rock over there, up above it to the right a little bit, that series of small caves that represents a scorpion coming down head first. Stinger up the top, down the arc into the body, head's a bit skew with, couple of legs either side of the body and one little nipper hanging underneath. Can you all see that? Hold on, young fella, you're up and down like a bloody yo-yo. You got ants in your pants? No more lollies here. The little outcrop of rock in the foreground, straight across from it, that's Tupaji, Piccaninny Rock, Little Ayers Rock, and that's a woman's sacred site. It's more sacred than big fat Uluru sitting behind it. And have a look at Uluru, the left-hand shape, the left-hand silhouette. Looks like a big mammal diving into the water. What's that look like?
Oh, it does too, a dolphin.
A dolphin, yeah.
Oh, it's a dolphin.
And the shallowed area in the head of the dolphin over there, that is Kunya Putti. That's where Kunya laid her eggs down. Went off to search for a bit of food. Come back with a belly full of food, had a little rest with her eggs again. And then off she went to find Uluru. Asking why her nephew had been spared. She left her eggs again at Kunya Putti. We're going to leave that there because that's where we're going. We're going to Muri. And on the way down there we're going to see all the markings for the rest of that story. This is the old sunrise viewing area. So that all the cars and coaches, everything just come right here in the morning. They used to have hitching rails here for the horses, camels, donkeys. There's a lot of donkeys out here in the morning. Most of them stepped off an APT coach. They're allowed to tie them up, but you know, not too many gaps in the trees. There was more punch-ups and pictures taken. So they built a new one, $21 million. Now, they built it, well, just about straight ahead of us now, just to the left of the rock out that way, about 2 kilometres. What's that tell you? They built it in the wrong spot. Sunrise is back here, not over there. This is the face we looked at sunrise, not the other side around the corner here. They've worked that out already. They're saving their money, they put in for another government grant. And, well, as soon as they get all that together, they're going to shift the sun.
Yes.
Little outcrop of rock over there, Tupaji, Piccaninny Rock, Little Ayers Rock. And on this end are all these boulders stacked up along this end. They represent the male and women and children sitting there waiting for the men to come back from South Australia. Now, we know the men won't come back here. That big dog lurks around up here still. The shallowed area here now, Kunya Putti. Some of those boulders up on there represent her eggs, where she left them laying. She's not there now, obviously. She's on the way around to Muri to confront Lyra. That's where we're going. We're going to go around and catch up with her before she beats him up. So let's go. Now, don't ask me about any of that European stuff. Where'd that baby Kankadin go? Because Lockie's going to tell you all that stuff later. Right? And certainly, those lines coming down Uluru at the moment, you want to believe Lockie rocky story. They'd be sedimentary layers, very lay down layers, rolled and exposed. The drag marks of the two little boys. They come down the big mud pile. We're going to see some more evidence of those two boys shortly. Remember that lazy blue-tongued lizard man, Lung Carter, that stole that emu with a spear? Yeah! Right. Well, on the base of Uluru, just ahead of us a little bit, there's a piece of stone protruding out, standing upright. Got a scar going out of it to the left there at 45 degrees. That is said to be the leg of the kalaya, the leg of the emu with the spear hanging out of it that Lung Carter dropped over there. Did you see it?
No. Can you turn back?
Great. You want to see it again? No? Well, shut your bloody eyes, because as we round the corner, to the left of this silver tripod is the leg of the emu on the base of the rock again.
Where?
There it is. Don't look if you don't want to see it.
That right there, that little tick. Yeah, that's it. Oh, that looks like a tick, though. That's the leg.
Does not.
It does too.
But we're going off to Waterhole. Alright? Get ready. The little cave across the tops of the trees there is the cave of Ilkarikari. And Ilkarikari is a gossip bird. It's a little willy wagtail bird. And Anna do believe that bird was sent over here to spy upon them by the Uluru people and learn all their secrets. They won't talk in front of that little birdie. Now the little birdie lives in a cave, and below it is a very shallow water hole. We're going to talk about the water hole and why that little birdie's in above it when we get down there at the main water hole. So that's it, water hole, skiing, fishing, snorkeling, scuba diving. Get yourself ready, put your keenies on, budgie smugglers. We're off to the water hole. There's another group in here. There's probably going to be some groups follow us in as well. So just bear with that. Might be another one on the other side of him as well. So, you know, this is where it could get interesting. Kicking, biting, scratching. Can anyone fight?
Yeah.
Good, because I can start them. Right, so we'll try and get all these buggers out of our way so they don't annoy us too much. That mob in that little truck there, they're probably walking around from the other corner. No, she's only a python, so she can't kill you.
This one, the white thing on it? No! Wendy!
Look, put this on your face.
It's not working!
You want to have some water?
We're going back now, we're going back.
You want to have some water? We told you to go and wear your hat.
Wearing hat is always better.
Come before you wear your hat.
So, in times of hardship, some of the skin groups come back to areas like this. There'd be may around with all the bush foods around and water at the water hole. Other skin groups would go back to different areas where they had water and food to go back there in times of hardship for them. Now, of course, around the corner was a man's hunting area, and it's much easier for the men to do the hunting here. Out there in the bush, they could be gone for 3 or 4 days before they come back with cooker. You know, that marloo or that meat. Here, they'd be sitting around that cave area all day. Rescue TV, footy, cricket, rugby, soccer, V8s, wherever we go now. Watching the women out there doing all the chores. The women had 70% of the food to go to the tea. Just before dusk, a couple of blokes would slip in behind that flat rock, peep out through that hole, and they'd work out how many animals went to the water hole. At dusk, to get a drink of water. When there was enough of the food source for everybody, they'd come off the rocky area, put a line of blokes through here, and then a couple of them go down and club and spear and injure the animals. And those injured animals would be grabbed straight away on the way back out. They couldn't escape. It was much easier for the men They didn't have the SQ on the TV. I chucked that bit in there, okay? You might have picked up on that somewhere. Yeah. No?
Just barely.
Just barely. They all chew tobacco. And the women chew tobacco more than the men. And this one out here is pretty pungent. The women will be chewing this one. The men chew the root of another tobacco plant called pictury. And that one was mind-altering. A bit like the apples. They'll be around there all day, chewing pictury, playing yarns and stuff, watching the women out there doing everything. Waiting for the animals to be so much easier. But certainly, as soon as rains come, off they went back out the bush. All the water holes will fill up again. And that's where what they follow. The food was a consequence along the way. But all the animals headed back out there as well. And all those areas they burnt out there previously, while they were out there, would all have lovely green shoots on it, and that's where the animals would be grazing. And so they'd hunt from there and they'd get their may from the older established plants again. So it was a place to come back to in times of hardship for some skinwalkers. It was also a meeting place, you know, a pretty big thing, everyone knew where it was. And in really good times, widespread rain or sustained rain, different skin groups could make their way here from different areas. They do a bit of trading and stuff from each other's areas. A little bit of wife swapping thing. They knew about interbreeding. They knew they had to get their husbands and wives from different skin groups, different family groups, sometimes even different language groups. And they do all that, and then off they go, back out the bush. Before the food and water dried up, and they couldn't make it back into their lands and back to places they went to in times of hardship for their water as well. So it was a place of meeting as well. And depending on the rain, where it actually rained, who could make their way in. Not always everyone. This year, everyone would have been here all year, because we've had such a dramatic season for the rain this year. It's been every month. But certainly in other times, it might only be the southwest, northeast, you know, only these people could make their way in. So it was a place of meeting as well. Now, certainly some little mud nests up here belong to fairy martins. They nest up here. They were getting close to this artwork, so they knock them down and keep them out of the way. Certainly, none of the artwork getting of this carbon dated. I'll tell you how old it is. Most of the original artwork is covered over by other artwork. It's the way things work. On your head there, though, some double sets of boomerangs drawn, and a rock face up there, and also a bit of a leaf structure. This was a communal area when they come back here in times of hardship, but it was a place where Uluru took place when they were here for the group get-togethers and trading. So and the double boomerangs is a symbol of music, ceremony. All right, we're going to head down to the waterhole. We've got that big knobby bit of rock still up there. That's the head of the third snake in the park. Now, as we go down to the waterhole, you'll see it. As soon as we get down to the waterhole, she's going to tuck around the corner and you won't be able to see it. A bit like the wanna. Get around when we wanted to talk about that. So keep your eye on it anyway. We'll talk about a couple of the plants on the way down to the waterhole.
No, it wasn't actually mashed potatoes. I guess in the winter time it'd probably be really. It has got some little thingies, swinging thingies. Yeah, look.
Thanks for the warning, guys. I thought they were all out of here. I'm in there in the bushes picking stuff and they're coming out. Thanks. I'll remember that at sunset.
I was standing there when you stopped there.
I didn't even see them. I was too busy looking for beans. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk. And she dragged him back around here. And they changed into the third snake of the park.
Should we eat it now?
The big, yeah, eat the whole thing now. Very easy to remember the third snake of the park's name. See that water over there? Was it making a beautiful little sound as you come in? When it goes a bit harder, it makes a real good sound. Her name up there is Wannampee. She's responsible for the water. So in times of hardship, she'll be summons up to fill up the water. Oh yeah, you can have one. I've been looking for you. You try that. It's vegetarian. One for you too, my word. Eat that. We're doing this in the Aboriginal way, okay? So you can have one too. Right, eat them up and we'll come back to you in a little while and ask you what they taste like. So, Wannampee, this was her area. She was responsible for the water hole. In times of hardship, she'd be summoned up to fill up the water hole here, then she'd go over to Carter Judah, fill up the water hole over here, and then she'd head off out bush, filling up all the little water holes out bush, and then she'd come back in and play. Until sometimes she was needed to do it all again. So this is her area. Now, the stories we tell you today are children's stories, learning stories. For you. And these other little buggers, where are they? Oh, they're not even here. So they're learning stories for the kids. And of course, this, it's drying back, but it's a very deep water hole over there. And the black line is full, and when it's up there, it's about 16, 17 feet deep over there where the water's trickling in. It's a very deep hole over there. All this sandbar through there has been pushed up from out of there. So it wasn't an area where kids could come and play, they'd probably drown. It was an area where they gathered food from, water from, hunted from, so it certainly wasn't an area where you played, bathed. They didn't actually bathe out this way. So, you know, water was too sacred for that. So, but it wasn't an area the kids could play, and if the kids come down here to play in the water hole, big old Wannampee would come out and gobble them up. So they knew damn well that would behave themselves and not come down in it, because they'd be in big trouble for eating. So they stayed away. They were allowed to play in the little water hole underneath Il Kari Kari around the corner, and very shallow water hole. The kids that were too young to be in the water hole, well, of course, they were with the grandmothers. They were too old to gather food. So they were the creche, the kindergarten, the teachers as well, for the little kids. The older kids are playing in the water hole. Mum's out there gathering food. Dad's over there chewing pitchery, telling yarns and stories. And of course, if those kids misbehave while they're in the water hole, Il Kari Kari would fly out from the cave above and tell Mum what was going on, so the kids would be in trouble. So they knew they had to behave while they were in the water hole as well. So these are learning stories for the kids. Except for the two boys, they were creators. This is the water hole they come to. This is the big mud pile behind them they created. And if you look over here, the bottom set of caves is a set of footprints, and the next one up is a handprint. And it's from the two boys, they left it in the mud after they created it. Up above it, tilt your head to the right, you've got the heart of the rock sitting up there as well. Europeans have nothing to do with the two little boys. See that little bird flying around up there too? Near the heart? That's what all that white stuff is up there, bird poo. Yeah, well now look up to them. Pretty exciting, isn't it? What? Oh, coming over there. Oh, that, I just seen it too. That was a peaceful day. Sometimes they come and hang on the edge of the rock over here, putting a bit of water. So you might see them coming in. Bush swallows we'll see in here. I heard a willy wagtail bird a minute ago. All right, let's get back to these beans. What does it taste like?
Green beans.
Beans.
Beans?
French beans.
Cucumber. Beans? Okay. Snow pea, beans. Okay, beans. Okay, cucumber. Jesus, I don't know what that was. Okay. Did any of them have a little peppery tang, a little bite on the end of them? One, two, yours? No? 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 Okay. In Aboriginal cultures, they come into an area and found a new food source. Two ways of trialling whether it was poisonous. And the first way is to rub it under the armpit. And if it stings, it's probably not good for you, it'll be poisonous. And I give them a good rub. That didn't sting at all, okay? You guys might have got a bit of deodorant. They always went to the fail-proof method. They would give it to the eldest person in the tribe, a woman, and then they'd sit back and watch. They might even watch for 2 days. And if she fell over dead, they wouldn't eat it. And if she didn't die, it was good mate. They could eat it.
Oh, you did that to me?
No. You know, if she got a little sick, right, they tried on someone younger just in case it was an old woman thing as well, so they covered all bases. And I tried it on some old girls the other day that got a bit sick, so I tried it on you younger girls today, okay? Hope that helps. You feel alright? Feel alright? Might wait a little longer.
I finally feel it.
Jesus, there's a problem, Houston. So we're going to go back up to the bus, and what we're going to do is head out to that new sunrise viewing area done. I'm just trying to look out here for some telephone. About the size of horses. That bush they've got another mob coming in here too. So what we're going to do, we're going to head out to that sunrise viewing area. We're going that's a peaceful dove. Another one. He's in the water there. You see the water's yeah, so we'll go out there. There's also some toilets out there too, so we'll do a bit of a toilet break all wrapped in one. Now, you buggers still feel alright?
Yeah, fine.
No. Well, just stay there. I'll pick you up tomorrow. I'm out again tomorrow.
Get to a photograph here.
Oh, listen to the wind, Cheryl. Listen to the wind. Remember you said about the flying plane?
So that's a dog running around the rock, hunting the Aborigines.
That's so funny, no? You want to put your Cheryl? I'll get you a picture.
Lost all like 2 weeks worth of party photos, so it's pretty kind of, yeah, awesome, yeah. Yeah, him just standing, I've always remember the image of him standing like this in the middle of the courtyard of the hotel where I've been staying, just going, I've lost everything, and he was still so happy, kind of really funny. Yeah. He went out with the body shop. Well, then he was washed up on the shore. Like a little bit further down, but he wasn't just, he felt naked, running around.
won't need this to go back to get to sleep, mate. I've got to get up at 4:30.
Oh, wow.
Go to work.
Oh, you got work tomorrow. Are you going home tonight, are you?
No, he's a I forgot to explain to him.
What are you?
I work in construction
He gets to travel.
in Alice Springs.
Oh.
And then he was in Laos before, a couple of months.
Oh, yeah, I knew he'd gone to Laos, but I didn't realise you were from here.
Where are you from originally, anyway?
North of Sydney,
North of Sydney.
on the coast.
Oh, I'm just angry.
Yeah, 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
I get you.
Hey. Good to see you, mate.
8 minutes
Another
left.
bottle in there.
It's like, you know what this set feels like? It's countdown to New Year's Day. That's what it means.
Yeah, there's a lot of the colours there, it's matching. It does photograph pretty nice. It gets better, yeah.
Oh, it's frozen. How come it's frozen?
Orange light.
Yeah, this is the messy. Oh yeah, that's better. I like that one better. Hold on, I'm just going to power back. Oh, there you go. Just have to press that button. Okay, so now as on. Okay, so last 2, 3, go. Wait to do that thing. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, that's cool. So I tried to follow where it's at the red center. Oh no, that's where the reception was because the phone here, the calm reception like, I'm meant to go pick your mama up. Are you gonna be home
Was started in 1877. They used to bring up the supplies by a camel train out to Pink River Mission or Hermansburg. And Hermansburg, of course, German place. So they named it after the homeland. So we'll go and drop into Hermansburg. They have a little historic centre there, and the original church, and some of the original buildings that were erected out through there. So Mara Pinta Drive. 116 kilometres to Hermansburg, and that was a sign back there, so it's probably about 112 now. So just over an hour. He got his way up and had to turn back. Then he had goods. I'll come up here, look, there's horses up here. Now, as we come around this first little building, that second white building in there is the church, around on the left. Okay, look, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot this afternoon. It was just the driver who came out yesterday, told us this morning that it was closed. And, you know, it's a bit of a shame because, you know, it's nice for us to know. Other than that, we can spend more time up in the pretty places or the lookouts or somewhere. Maybe just a few pet horses hanging around. The health centre and the clinic. A little old graveyard over here. After pretty well, and look, if you're travelling, if I'm travelling around Australia or anywhere else, I can come into these communities as well and get medical treatment if I need it. Sorry folks, this has a clutch that will throw you out of the saddle of a horse. Might notice on the road back there was a little sign with an Aboriginal word that I can't pronounce, and dirt road. So 12 kilometres down the track there's another community. There's camping ground here, so if you wanted to come stay, put the caravan or the tent up for the night. Okay, well, we're no wiser, are we?
But I've seen it, so that's cool.
Yeah, well, our normal program is to come in here in the afternoons. So this was the centre of the earth out here, so imagine the distance now that we are away from Alice Springs, because these were the only two communities out here in the 1800s. A few little homesteads in between. And you'd be looking for these camels to come, wouldn't you? Hey, I want a new dress. Or you imagine they're putting in your order. Okay, the cameleers come up through here and you give them your shopping list. Yeah, they've got to go all the way back down south, give it to the shop owner, he's got to fill the order, and then it's got to come in the back of the camel all the way back up again. So, you know, 6 bags of flour and, you know, 21 bags of sugar and 4 new dresses and, you know, new shoes. I hope they fit. yeah. And furniture, things that you needed for